Okay, next we're going to install our Southern Lights snake tube lights. These snake tube lights might look similar to other designs you've seen, but I assure you they're not. One thing you'll notice difference is the distance between our diodes. They're literally almost stacked on top of each other. This particular diode we use is super bright, long life. We use a high copper backing and what that does is it transfers the power or the volts and amps needed over long distances to make the diodes last longer. Another thing, ours is a solid silicone extrusion, extra thick. You can hit these and all you're doing is just hitting silicone. You can't crush the diode, you can't fill the diode. It's extra thick silicone extrusion, so they're super protective. These come with 100-mile-an-hour 3M backing that we put on them. What that does is you can adhere them to any surface per our instructions that come in the pack. Tells you exactly how to install them. Once they're installed, they are a permanent bond after about 48 to 72 hours. And the biggest key to installing our lights is following the instructions specifically. We already have our wires ran to our outside. We're going to do an exterior snake tube along the exterior part of this gunnel cap. First thing you want to do, and this is key on any boat, unless it's a gel coated or highly clear coated finish in a particular area, a gel coated boat, a bass boat or such, you wouldn't want to do this first step because you already have a good hard smooth surface. Smooth surface is key. A lot of these duck boats, doesn't really matter which one it is, when they're spraying these, it's real hard for them to get the spray underneath certain areas. And what that is, what it ends up happening is when they spray it, it ends up getting misted underneath. And when that mist is under there, it almost is a dusty, painty material that you can literally rub off with your hands. So what you want to do first in any area you're going to adhere our snake tubes to is you want to take a sanding sponge and you want to go in the area that you're going to do it and rub all that paint mist off and get all that fine particles off. Once you've sanded the area to where you can tell it's smooth with the sanding sponge, it's real easy to know once you've knocked those ridges off or bumps or splatter. You want to take half alcohol, half water, and you're going to spray it. I wouldn't necessarily spray it all over the area. I would spray your rag, and we're going to spray this rag, and you're going to wipe the area down like that, and you can see all the stuff coming off of it. And what you want to do once you've wiped it down, you're going to come back with a dry one. You want to keep coming back with clean cloths until there's no residue or anything coming off onto your towel. Rub it completely clean. Once it's completely clean, we'll come back. We'll show you how to install these appropriately. Okay, we got our area clean. We've rubbed it to where there's no residue coming off on the towel. We're going to take our snake tube and peel the 3M backing. One thing, a trick on this backing, a lot of people will just pull it and rip it. If you actually tear it before the solder joint where we solder the wires and take a section out of it like that, it's easier to start. and then go back to the end like that and pull that off. Instead of trying to start it right at the end, if you start it more towards the middle of the strip, it's easier to get the backing started. So tear that through. I'm going to peel this back, and we're going to go ahead and stick it to the location that we have cleaned. Pressing firmly, and we're just going to work our way down. Good thing about mounting in this location is hitting the side, you don't really, they're protected underneath this gunnel cap. Besides a big metal rebar or something going right up under here, they're very well protected. So we're just going to go right along here, peeling our backing off and adhering them on. And like we said, after 48 to 72 hours, we don't have to worry about these coming off. This is a 16-foot boat, and you can do this in really fast time frame. Doesn't take long. The prep is the key. If you don't get the prep right, it's not going to render you the results you would like. So make sure your prep is done exactly per the instructions. At the end, we cut it on the copper joint. We had a little bit of excess, which is fine. So we just cut it right here. We're on the bow, right where the bow rail, bow cap is. Okay, well, right here on the bow, we started in the stern, ran it all the way up. We trimmed it where we needed it, where it met the bow cap. And just to prolong the longevity of this, what I like to do is take you some clear black silicone, 100% silicone, and we're just going to put some right there on the tip. And what that's going to do is just over time, the waves, splash, everything is going to prevent that water from reaching up under that and trying to start to remove the tube from the boat. So just putting that little bit right there will just protect that front part of the tube a lot better. So we like to put that on right at the front, and you can even put some on the rear, will be fine too, where you do your wiring connections. Okay, next we'll go show you how we drill the snake tubes right here under the gunnel cap. Right here near the stern, we got a big fat bead or weld. We don't want to drill through that weld. So right where that weld stops, we're going to come right in front of it and right up under, drilling perpendicular to the side. We're going to drill straight through. We've double and triple checked on where that comes through on the inside, and it's going to come through right here where this cap ends, to where we can run the wires right down through the pod, just like we are going to show you. But we'll take our time. You want to get it as high as you can, right up touching the gunnel cap where that weld ends. These edge duck bolts was 125 gauge, is real thick. You just got to take your time getting through it. And there you go. We are through it. We have a gun box. And we want to illuminate this gun box. So what we're going to do is, while we have this speaker removed from the rear, we've ran our interior snake tube wires and our exterior snake tube wires through the gunnel cap. We're going to drill a hole to this rear pod through the gun box to where we can run the wire back to our switch panel system. So we're gonna run, I like to run the tubes on the front side up under the front lip rather than the back. Reason being is, if you're looking in from the inside of the boat into your box, the lights are going to be a little more blinding if you mount them on the back towards the outside of the boat. So if you do them on the inside part of the gun box, right up under the lip right here, they perform a lot better at night, especially as bright as our snake tubes are. If you mount them to the back, it's a little, can be very, very blinding, but mounting them on the back works a lot better. So we're going to drill our hole right through here to where we can run our wire back to our switch panel system. And we'll get it as high as possible so it's up and out of the way. We've checked behind here to make sure we're not going to hit any kind of cross member. These edge duck boats are thick. Got some tough aluminum. So we're gonna, our hole's good. Once again, when you're running these wires, you want to make sure that you eliminate the sharp edges on the holes that you drill through. Whether you take some silicone, put it around the wire, that way the wire is not bouncing around, accidentally getting cut. Works real well, or wrap a bunch of electrical tape around that part of the wire to give it more protective coating around the wire. So once again, running our 16-2 high stranded copper wire. Push that through. Should be enough. Okay, next we're going to install it here in this gun box. So we're going to install it right up under here, up under this lip. And what you want to do once again is just make sure it's good and smooth under there where you're going to hear it, because especially spraying this boat in this box, it's very difficult for them to get a good smooth surface under these areas. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to clean it real good with our solution. Get it real clean. You can feel it. It's, once you get it sanded very well, it'll take off all that material and get it clean. So we're going to get this real clean. Go over it with a dry one, make sure we're not getting any kind of residue, anything else coming off. And once nothing's showing up on your rags, and your rags, you know, once you rub them and they're clean, then you're ready to proceed to installing the snake tube. Next, we're going to install this white strip light in this edge front hatch. We're going to install two in here. We'll install one under this lip and one back under here under this lip. Reason being is this edge boat goes way back up in here. You have so much storage in here, it's ridiculous. If there's not enough storage in here, you're carrying too much stuff. So we're going to sand up under here. Once again, these areas are real hard for them to get with a spray gun, so there's a lot of splatter on here. You want to get that real smooth, and then we're going to clean it really, really well. And then we're going to show you how we connect these two to our wire that comes with the wiring supply kit when you order it with the snake tubes, kick lights, rooster tails, etc. But we're going to get this real clean, and we're going to show you how we get this hooked up. What we're going to do next is make sure we have enough wire to where we can get this wire up and out of the way and where we want to run it, to where it's not just laying here in the floor. Next, we're going to take our snake tube and positives to positives, and then we're going to take some extra wire that we have with the kit, and we're going to take this other positive and run it in line. This wire is going to run up here under this cap to our second snake tube and power it. So that's the convenience of these connectors, is you can put all three wires in there, make sure they're all the way to the top. You can see them in there. We'll go push that cap down to where it's completely snapped in place. Then we're going to take our three grounds or negatives and push all of those all the way in there. Once they're all in there, hold them firmly, and we're going to take some pliers and smush it down. All the silicone comes out, seals it, and so that strip's connected in line. Now we're going to continue this up to the front. Going to measure that, cut this where we want it, take our next one, cut these off, they're a little long, we don't need to have them extra long. Split the wires, and take our positive to our positive, push them in there all the way in, crimp it down, make sure it's flat. Take our negatives, slide those up in, and crimp it down. Silicone squirts out. So now we have both our tubes connected in line like that. And now we're going to adhere them up under these ledges. We'll take this snake tube, we'll peel the backing off, just like that. We'll adhere it under here. Just like that. got this material underneath here really clean. Push it up very firmly. Take our next one. Hear it under. Just like that. Now we have both of those installed, ready to secure our wire up. I'll show you how we do it a little bit later, but that's good to go. We about have the snake tube set up on this boat completed. Our next location, we have dual trays on this edge boat. We've sanded underneath. We're going to install another strip underneath this top tray to illuminate our bottom tray. We've already sanded this, and we're going to start cleaning it real well. You can see everything coming off of it. You've got to get all of that removed. Flip your towel. You can see everything coming off. Okay, we've wiped it with our dry towel. Got our wire run underneath here. We're going to get this peeled back. Peel back and start adhering it. Start adhering it to the underneath where you've cleaned and sanded. We're going to go all the way down, firmly pressing, and that snake tube's ready to go. Okay, next we're going to do the internal part of the gunnel rail cap. We're going to sand this down once again. You can hear all the rough paint edges. This is a real hard location for them to paint from the factory, so up under these areas you get a lot of rough surface and a real powdery spray, so you want to make sure you get that real smooth all the way down, taking off all of those high ridges, and then come back with your cleaner and you can just see everything coming off. We're going to get this real clean and then install this down the side. Okay, we're going to once again start this up the strip, slowly peel it off. We're going to adhere it underneath. slowly apply pressure as we go right down the edge. Right down the edge. Come back fully pressing and get that fully adhered. And we'll attach our wires right here.